let's figure this out. 5 minutes and 28 seconds. The mess D'Souza has to convince us all that China is going to we should fear them, and that I'm guessing there's a couple of these today, and obviously I have a personal stake in all this, as we'll explore more. But at what point? Well, let's see. I haven't watched this. Neither of you. Let's see what's said. No, actually, the definition of superpower is being to be able to project military might around the globe instantaneously. As a matter of fact, there's been 2 or 3 of them, but mainly it's been like the NATO is sort of its own superpower. Russia has been known as a superpower, and the United States is a superpower because basically we have nukes and near Earth orbit ballistic missiles. Oh, you can't hear him? Hold on. Whoops. My bad. That was me. Chip. There you go.
Is the world's sole superpower. But one way you can tell if you're a superpower is
that if you see a green rock and you feel dizzy and Miss Tessbacher, never mind,
acting like a superpower.
Which is, of course, wears tights and your underwear on the outside.
I think it's fair to say, looking at the actions of the Biden administration around the world, that we are not doing that. We are acting in ridiculous ways around the world.
Yeah, that doesn't affect our being a superpower. Also, why is this video choppy and shitty? I got news for you. We are a superpower no matter how we act. That's one of the dangerous parts about Russia, is they have the ability to be a superpower and still act like a psycho dictator. I'm sorry, he turned. There you go. All right.
We show very little broad-minded vision.
Yes, we show very little broad-minded vision. Yes, that's the. What do you mean? We're not inclusive enough to Russia's needs? What do you mean broad-minded? Oh, we keep focusing just on democracy.
We don't pursue our own national.
Hold on. He should watch Serpent ZA. He might actually learn something about China. Yeah, I don't think he will, never forget. He's not going to. By the way, I would love to have the Serpent ZA and Lao Wai on my morning show now. And now that I'm able to have guests, I'm going to make that happen.
National self-interest. We meddle where we shouldn't.
We shouldn't where we meddle. We do where we don't, and we don't what we did. And you do what you do when you did what you did. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. We shouldn't be helping Ukraine. We should be in Afghanistan still. Oops, hold on. Play, stupid.
We don't meddle where we should.
Then it wouldn't be meddling, would it?
And I want to contrast our behavior with the ruthless, relentless,
ruthless and relentless,
single-minded,
well, that would be relentless,
pursuit of national interest, which the Chinese are engaged in. In other words, the Chinese are acting far more like a superpower than we are. And
no, they're not. And by the way, you don't get to be a superpower because you act like it. All of the traits that this asshole, and I haven't watched this, all of the traits that this asshole mentions are going to be the traits of shitty tin pot dictators the world over. Everything, he's going to go, look at these fucking guys, they're doing the thing. All of that shit is going to be stuff that Saddam Hussein tried.
And of course, it's their intention to become not only a rival superpower, which they almost are, but
yeah, well, there's, and Burger King is McDonald's, and almost counts in everything but horseshoes and hand grenades. Yeah.
The world's sole superpower, displacing us rather than joining us, you may say, at the front of the line.
Well, all right. In terms of superpower, he's talking about military. Front of what fucking line? If there's already one superpower, what are they going to do? Of course they're going to counter us, in theory. Or they wouldn't even bother. They do what the rest of the world is doing, which is America's got it. If we get in trouble, we'll call them. In case of emergency, we'll shit on America nonstop. But in case of emergency, break glass.
Now, how are the Chinese doing this? Well,
Yes, how are they doing it? Explain to us. Gausswoman, tell us.
let's just look at the area of mineral acquisition.
Mineral acquisition. Here it is. This is how superpowers behave. Let's look at the area of mineral all right.
Which is to say,
Which is just to say acquiring minerals.
Chinese know that their economy has been growing very fast.
Oh, Dinesh is really loud? Sorry, I tried to bring it down a little bit. There you go.
They are, by the way, themselves the largest producers of mining, the largest miners in the world.
Well, that doesn't help because the caves are really small and then you have to bend your head down. You get all these back problems. The largest miners in the world. That's it. Code for they dig up everything in their own fucking country.
Chinese are.
But okay, is that who you're talking about?
But they still don't have enough.
Yes, they import most of the things they need. Fancy that.
And they don't have all the raw materials they need. And so they're like, let's have a plan to go get them.
Yeah, that's how they gather every couple of years and say, let's have a plan to go get them. And
they're getting them from all over the world.
Yes, because they couldn't find one place to get them. There is no one-stop shop for raw materials that we need.
And the Chinese are doing this both through state-owned companies and private companies. But
there's no such thing as private companies in their own country. They're all 50% state-owned.
Their focus is on Africa. Why on Africa?
No, they're focused on the entire world. They're going into Africa the same reason that Russians are going into Africa. All right.
Africa, because Africa has a giant amount of natural resources. To give you a few examples, South Africa produces about a half of the world's chromium. It's the world leader in the production of manganese. It's also, by the way, a huge producer of gold. It's got a significant amount of diamonds.
Nobody produces gold.
Some people think South Africa has the most diamonds, but that's not the case.
No, laboratories in the world have the most diamonds. We can fucking make diamonds out of your pets now.
Botswana is the world's leader in diamond production.
Yeah, mark that on your list.
But then the Democratic Republic of the Congo has about half of the world's cobalt.
Yes.
And is
right. And
also a huge producer of copper. Zimbabwe is a large producer of lithium.
This is like, have you been taking classes from Ben Shapiro in how to read stuff on screen? It's going very well. All right, is everybody learning something? Is it learning there should be percentages. Remember, these are percentages of discovered amounts of stuff that people decided they wanted before, but they may not need in the future. See lithium and cobalt and future batteries. We'll talk later.
There's Guinea, there's Morocco, there's Mozambique, there's Rwanda, and
there is. That is true. I have to admit, when you're right, and those places do exist.
The Chinese are in all these places. And what the Chinese do, and if you think back now 20 years, the Chinese had like 2 or 3 mineral projects in Africa. They were like just getting started, but now they are...
Yes, 20 years ago.
Now they've got over 100 massive projects going on.
Crazy.
To give you an idea of the kind of projects they do, in 2012, the Chinese Nuclear Power Corporation acquired a huge nuclear plant in Namibia. And by nuclear plant, I mean this is mining of uranium that is used for nuclear purposes.
So it's not a nuclear plant.
And there's
a mining facility for raw nuclear materials. Please continue, dummy. Get to the point.
Construction of a giant uranium mine.
By the way, we are more than halfway through. Will China be the world's next superpower?
In Namibia. The Chinese have sort of acquired the rights to that uranium. It's going to be the 3rd largest uranium mine in the world.
Oh my God, not the 3rd largest.
Here's another example.
That's what superpowers do. They try to make something the 3rd largest.
Example, In the Democratic Republic of the Congo,
yes, I will cover DeSantis when he gives a longer speech soon.
Chinese have a massive copper operation going. So the
Yeah, they make socks and those kind of shirts that help you lose weight and solve back pain.
Mining Group in China, a private company, but obviously under the thumb of the Chinese government, a $500 million deal with a conglomerate in the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
I'm fascinated. Yeah, totally. They're setting up debt traps for African countries in exchange for mineral rights and material rights that they're sucking up at a massive rate, or for stuff that they used to build there that they're not building anymore. And
that allows the Chinese to control this giant project. And again, what happens with these projects is they need money, and the Chinese go, yep, we got the money. So
you've got the look.
What the Chinese are doing here is...
it's the other way around. You've got the looks. I've got the brains. Let's make lots of money.
They've got kind of a variety of
projects.
Strategies that are being deployed.
Mm-hmm.
What they do in some cases, they go, okay, we'll make the direct investment. We'll put all the money in. In some cases, they go, we will build the infrastructure. In some cases, they go, we will do a joint venture. You put up half, we put up half.
Yeah, no other countries in the world do that. France.
In some cases, they buy options. An option is the right to purchase the minerals at a future date for a stated price. So give us the option to buy, which we may or may not.
Yes. Yes. China's superpower is their lease with an option to buy.
Exercise. And of course, the Africans are like, wow, we can't do all of this by ourselves. So they're happy to partner with the Chinese. And so what I'm getting at is that while the United States does a lot of posturing around the world in Ukraine and elsewhere.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're posturing in Ukraine.
What the Chinese are basically saying is the world operates not according to these kind of grandiose ideals. The world operates according to self-interest. And the self-interest largely...
So what we do is we go into places and we tell the African countries, fuck you, we're taking your stuff out of total self-interest. And they...
resides in economic projects. And the Chinese even understand that in...
Yeah, it's weird. I wonder if the Western civilization will come up with something like the IMF and the World Bank and a series of gigantic charities that help countries even selflessly in a way to make goodwill so that trade partnerships are more long-lasting. No, we're not doing that.
The way to achieve the self-interest is, in some cases, to bribe politicians.
Yeah. When's America going to learn that valuable lesson? Sometimes... the Chinese understand this in a way that, the future is corruption.
Or they'll say to an African government, hey, listen, we'll build this beautiful parliamentary building so all of you have air conditioning, all of you have luxury couches. We'll even...
That's what they say. But will there be luxury couches? Oh, yeah, sure. Yo.
Supply the food, and so these African politicians are, there's something in it for us.
Jesus Christ, fuck you. I was making fun of you making fun of them, and then you went and did the voice. God damn, dude. I don't know when Xinhua decided to hire Dinesh to be one of their new PR spokesperson. Money well spent, guys.
And so the Chinese at every level are sort of... quote,
at the top of corruption and at the bottom of corruption and even at the sides of corruption. Sometimes their corruption may not hit bottom, but it'll scrape the shit out of the sides. Fuck.
Meeting the needs, not...
Yes, the needs of African oligarchs with couches and air conditioning.
Exactly, keeping a careful line between corruption and keeping things legal. What the Chinese are doing is putting money in so that in the end they can take money, but also minerals, out. The
fuck does that have to do with anything? Will China be the world's next superpower? The fuck does that... What? That has nothing to do... All right. You didn't even talk about what they're supposedly doing with the minerals, why they need them, why they can't get them out of their own fucking country. Did that ever occur to you? These assholes have like the third biggest mine of stuff in the world, and because they'll come in and they'll roll in and buy, like, build palaces with air conditioning and fucking couches in them, that'll get them the mineral rights in these countries. Therefore, cogito ergo sum, e pluribus unum. China's serious about world power, and we're fucking not. Did Dinesh just discover the Belt Road Initiative like 3 years too late?